Let's not forget that this team we saw last year with Mara on Hard Knocks if he was going to have a stroke if we got rid of Saquon Barkley. And, they drafted Tracy and he was serviceable, but it was certainly not the running back field that they were looking for. And I think the addition of Cam Scottaboo is something that's only going to help this roster.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it elevates the roster for sure. We'll just kind of have to see how it plays out for fantasy purposes.
Yeah, well, let's carry on. We've got one more buy sell that we're going to hit, and it's another one that was, again, impacted by the draft. That's kind of the theme of tonight, and that's going to be, what are we doing with Jaylen Warren? Is he a buy? Is he a sell? I think right now what we need to be focused on with Jaylen Warren is the capital that was invested at running back. Yes, they drafted on day 2 Kaleb Johnson from Iowa, another running back that, in my opinion, fills that Najee Harris role. He's going to have the ability to step in, make plays, run the ball, pound the rock between the tackles. Warren's a great serviceable third down back, change of pace running back. But in my opinion, he's not that guy that's going to lead this roster and carry the workload. I think Kaleb Johnson finds himself in a fantastic situation, whether you believe in his production or his profile. I don't really think it matters. I think he's going to get the opportunity. And what we know at the running back position is opportunity is everything. We just finished talking about Tyrone Tracy, who stepped into that role and was serviceable. Yes, he's being phased out, but the third-round capital invested by the Steelers into this position, I think, says it all. They moved on from Najee. It's a contract year for Jaylen Warren. He's not even guaranteed to be back. What we do know is that Kaleb Johnson has the ability to be a 3-down back. He is a bigger running back like Najee that can withstand that workload. Remember, Najee Harris has never missed a game in his career. I think Kaleb Johnson was drafted for similar reasons. I think Kaleb Johnson can step into this role, absorb all of Harris's workload, and do the exact same things. Najee was serviceable. So I think that Kaleb Johnson is going to take this job, and I would be selling off of Jaylen Warren if I can. Because, again, I don't think there's a really high ceiling for him. Yes, last year wasn't too bad, but I just don't see it, Tyler. Are you buying or are you selling Jaylen Warren?
No, I've never really been a big Warren believer. I always liked Najee a little bit better. We say it a lot. Your best ability is availability, and that's what Najee was. I mean, he was always there. So I was always a little bit higher on him. Even people, would say, "Oh, well, Warren is so much more explosive." All this, that, and the other. It doesn't matter. In the grand scheme of things, if you've still got somebody that's able to play 17, 18 games, or whatever, and just touch their way all the way up rankings. So I do think you're correct. I think Kaleb Johnson was drafted at 6'1", 224. I think he was drafted to be Najee's replacement. If you heard the Mike Tomlin press conference from where they drafted him, Mike Tomlin seems stoked to have this guy on his team. Last year he ran for 1,537 yards, 21 touchdowns on only 240 carries. That's a 6.4 yard per carry. Whether you like his profile or not, he produced. And in an offense where, you've got the Steelers, they like to run the ball. They always have. They've been a very defensively minded team. They love to run the ball, especially when you get around the goal line. And I think he will be the guy in there, as much as he can. And Coach brings up a good point here, the passing attack. They've got DK and they've got Pickens, but who's throwing the ball? We still don't know that. Is it Mason Rudolph? Is it Will Howard, who they took in the 7th round? What do we have here? So I think they will end up, running the ball pretty heavy here to start the season, especially. And I think Kaleb Johnson will get a lot of workload, especially as the season goes on.
Yeah. And I mean, Warren, too, this past year, only 120 attempts on the ground for 511 yards. So the production's not there. The opportunity's not there. Yes, he had the 38 receptions on 47 targets. He's going to continue to have that. I would expect his workload to probably look the exact same because it's not that different than it was the year before. Only 149 opportunities. He was more efficient on the ground 2 years ago with almost 800 yards. But I just don't think that Jaylen Warren is the long-term plan of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like you said, defensive-minded team, want to run the ball, want to possess the ball, run the clock. That's what they've done for years. They're winning these ugly games where you turn on the TV and you're, oh my gosh, it's 17-14, or maybe Chris Boswell hits 5 straight field goals to win the game. Like they did that last year. So I think that's going to continue to happen. And Kaleb Johnson, like Coach said, draft him. He's the guy that can carry the workload for this offense. Jamie asked us the question,